Hello, everybody. I am your host, Cadel Eather, and you are listening on the Gold Coast Official Podcast. This is Ep.1, and we'll be discussing on short films in the official Gold Coast Pictures channel. Yeah, these are films from 2023 to 2025. This is from my first ever project to the projects we all worked on as a group, as friends, as a team, and to my most recent project, which was almost a month ago, believe it or not. My first ever project was in 2023. That was when I decided to pick up a camera, film, edit, and yeah. But this wasn't a film. This was what you call a sweeted trailer. A sweeted trailer, imagine this, right? Your favorite movie, out of every movie, right? Your favorite movie's trailer, you recreate that, but with a low budget because you don't have a Hollywood budget. That is what a sweeted trailer is. You recreate a movie trailer, but with a low budget. And I originally wanted to do, I'll say that again. I originally wanted to do Oppenheimer. I wanted to do the Oppenheimer trailer because, I saw the trailer for Oppenheimer in 2023. I had no idea who Oppenheimer was, but I really liked the trailer. I was hooked by the movie at that time. It's a Christopher Nolan film, so yeah. It's a Christopher Nolan film. It's kind of like you have to watch it. But what I did instead was Enter the Dragon. And I'll tell you why. Oppenheimer would have been too hard for me to make as a first-time filmmaker. So I wanted to go for more of an easier project. And since I do martial arts, and I have flashy kicks and good technique and flexibility, I thought, I was also interested in doing Enter the Dragon. I thought of making a sweeter trailer for Enter the Dragon. And that's what we did. We made a sweeter trailer of Enter the Dragon. And it was fun. It was really, really enjoyable. I said before, that was my first ever time, picking up a camera, editing, syncing music, audio, yada yada yada. And it was fun. And that was the only project I did in 2023. Because a year later from that time, in 2024, we're now moving on to 2024, I became a filmmaker in early 2024, full-time filmmaker. And I wanted to make films, because that's what I love doing. And I still love doing it now, yeah. I still love doing it now, yeah. And, I decided to do another martial arts project, but this was an actual film, right? This was an actual film. Like an actual short film. Yeah. It was basically, I decided to make a sequel to Bruce Lee's The Big Boss. But it's called The New Big Boss. The New Big Boss, yes. I wrote a script. It's around 3 or 5 pages. Yeah, it's a good script for your first actual movie, short film. I actually didn't end up finishing it. The project was really bad. I mean, not story-wise could have been better, for your first film, but the cinematography, I didn't know where to place the camera. And yeah. I'll do that bit again. I didn't know where to place the camera. This is my first ever time making a movie, right? And when I did the Enter the Dragon sweeter trailer, I mean, obviously I had to do the shots there, but I had to follow the shots from the trailer, right? So it's not like I had to figure out myself what shots I have to do. I just had to copy it from the actual trailer itself or from the movie itself, yeah. Yeah. But for this film, The New Big Boss, I actually had to figure out what the heck I was doing. Like, big time, you know? I don't know if you can hear that. Hopefully not. Anyway, I'll try and move on from, I don't know, moving from that. Yeah, I end up not actually finishing The New Big Boss because I was really frustrated by it. And I basically stopped the project. But then a term later, right, still 2024, we were given another task to make another short film. But this time, we were given a topic. We were given a topic of bullying to make a short film on bullying. But this time, I wasn't all alone. There was not just me, there was all three of us. And what makes it so different is that I was co-directing, I was writing, I was a camera operator, my friend Cody, he was the director of the film, and my friend Kaiser, there was three of us, the three amigos. Kaiser was a camera operator. And yeah, that is the entire crew. And this topic was, we had to make a short film on bullying. And, you know, we just had to sit around the table and just brainstorm. We were all just like crossing our arms, lowering our heads, thinking for like 10 minutes or so. Like, it's absolute dead silent until I came up with the idea, hey Cody, what if we do a film on time travel? I came up with that idea. I don't know, the plan was to throw ideas and come up with something. And somehow that worked. And what happened was Cody decided to make a Groundhog Day film, but on bullying. Like, the concept is that this new kid comes into this new kid comes into school, and the bully, this kid enters a new school, right? And our protagonist, who's the bully, his name is Nate. He's chatting to his friend, like, oh, who's that guy over there? Oh, I think his name is Noah, and he was 3 weeks here, so. And he starts to bully him, like, he starts to pick on him, because it's obviously about bullying. But here's the twist. Every time he makes contact, like a bang, like a slap or a hit or a punch, or he trips, or steals something, he goes back in time to when class starts, and the new kid walks in, who's the victim of the film, and he's like, what happens? And he's, oh, you've been asleep, kind of thing. It's this whole, like, time odyssey on him just making contact with the victim and him going back in time. So that's his consequence. Him going back in time and suffering the consequences of his actions of bullying. It's all bullying we're making a film all on the consequences of bullying, and that is what the film's about, the consequences of bullying. And for that, our protagonist Nate goes back in time and suffers the consequences. But until he realizes that what he's doing is wrong, and he decides to become friends with the victim, and he apologizes, and he's like, why are you apologizing? Because he doesn't know, right? He keeps going back in time, so it's like, I don't know, like, he just doesn't remember. So they become friends, and they live happily ever after, kind of thing. Well, not live, but happily ever after, they leave. They are yippee, kind of thing. That's the entire film. Now, that's our first, like, project we're working on together as, as crew, as a team, as friends. There was all three of us. None of us were in the film. Our friend Cody, had to. Well, our friend Cody, he got friends. He knew like a bunch of friends. That's like in year 8, year 9, or mainly around year 8. He had like a bunch of kids or teenagers from year 8 that he's friends with, and he managed to get them in the film. The film's called Bullying No More. I didn't tell you the film. We called the film Bullying No More. I actually created the name. Well, because we didn't have a name, and I thought, well, obviously we're going to have a name. And I was like, well, how can I express the consequences of bullying? Like, we don't want no more bullying. And I thought that, no more bullying. And, you just play around with it with a bit, You play around for a bit. And, you're like, I was like, no more bullying. And then what if I switched it around? So no more bullying. Like switched no with the bullying. So it's bullying no more. And I was like, that ain't going to work. So I was like, okay, what about bullying? No. No, it was bullying more no. So I switched the more and the no. And then I magically got bullying no more. And I was like, bullying no more. You see, that worked because it sounded like a name. Bullying no more. And I pitched it to Cody, and he's like, yeah, let's do that. That sounds sick. So that's kind of how Bullying No More was made. And this was before the shoot. This is when I was at the desk, my media desk, typing on my laptop on the script. I was writing the dialogue and I was actually like writing the film. Well, Cody was like observing and directing and giving out his vision because, he's the director. It's his film, basically. We're all working on it because it's our project. And yeah. And then as soon as we finished it, we just handed it in. So I had to burp. And there wasn't really any problems with the film. The only problem there was about it wasn't the film. It was like, actually filming it. Like, we had like 7 or 8 like year 8 actors in one classroom, in our media classroom, by the way. They were all in our media classroom, yeah, at one desk. They were on the right hand side of the room. But it was kind of strange, like each day, right? Like this took us like 4 or 5 days a week, like first and second break of filming. 3 weeks, I think, or maybe 2, I don't know. But each class, right, each student started to disappear. Each student, like, oh, where did Timothy go? Oh, where did Jimmy go? Next thing you know, there's like 3 actors. There's the protagonist, antagonist, and one of the foil characters, / a foil character, basically a side character. They are the dedicated ones because they are the actual important ones. Meanwhile, everyone else left because, well, actually, I was very demanding on the set. I was demanding. I was very demanding on the set. I was the one telling everyone to do this, do that. So people were probably the actors probably shut themselves because I was actually, I was actually very strict. And, yeah, that's probably why they, each person individually left. And they didn't say bye or anything. They just like disappeared, like fully ghosted. Like they didn't say anything. Oh, I'm not gonna be in your film anymore. No, they absolutely disappeared. And I saw them, and they didn't really make eye contact with me. But hey, at least our 3 actors, protagonist, antagonist, and other foil character, side character, you know what I mean. They stayed. I'm glad they stayed. Well, there's Cody friends, not mine. I mean, I built some connection with them, and that's about it. And yeah, we got the film done, and then it was filmed, wrapped, yeah. And the next thing you know, end of 2024 was we had a 2024 film festival. And Cody submit the film into the film festival. And next thing you know, like we were in year 11, and then there was the year 11 category. For some reason, they didn't show the entire film. They only showed like a snippet of it, which I thought was pretty weird. Like you have a film festival, yet you don't actually show the films. You only showed snippets of them. So you're not actually watching the film. You're just like, oh, you're being told that this film is in the film festival, and here's evidence. Here's little evidence that this film is in the film festival in like a little snippet. They didn't actually show the film. I know, like, there's too much films and there's not a lot of time. Like, they're only there for like an hour or so. But I'd rather you expand the runtime of the festival and show all the films than not show the films at all, but present the winners. Because everyone's confused, like, okay, well, why do I care, But what happened in the year 11 category of, the Film Festival 2024, year 11 films, there was Best Director, Best Cinematographer, Best Editor, but then there was Best Film. And then, there was all of our friends, all of our classmates, a few of them won each of the other three. And then there was time for Best Film, Best Year 11 film, And I'm sitting next to Cody, right? Kaiser didn't came because he didn't want to go for some reason. I'm sitting next to Cody. And next thing I hear, Best Year 11 film goes to Bullying No More. And I was shocked. I was like, what? Bullying No More won? But Cody wasn't surprised, because it turns out he already saw the slideshow on PowerPoint, because they rehearsed it. But Cody was there the entire day, so he managed to see all the winners. But I went home and I changed, and I came back, so I didn't get to see the winners through the practice slide through or whatever, And yeah, I was kind of surprised. And we were given the best year 11 film, like, little clay trophy. It was a clay trophy. It's a circular little cake of a clay year 11 film, best film trophy. And then Cody decided to let me keep it and not him. I was like, no, you keep it, Cody, it's yours. And he was like, nah, you keep it, kiddo. Trust me. I was like, okay. And it's still in my room to this day. It's over on the other side of my room. It's still just sitting there and getting old and getting hard. That sounds a little weird. Now, but that isn't the end of the story, because there's one more story I have to tell. There was another film I did. You know how I told you before I did 2 films in 2024. One of them I didn't complete, but the other I did complete. The other I did complete was a horror film, and that was my first proper film. And this was this was 3 weeks before the film festival 2024. And I had to come up with a film and make it for the film festival, because I really wanted to get in. So I was like, okay, think, what film should I make? Well, I thought of location first, and I was like, well, if I got to film anywhere, I got to find a location. And then I thought of the theater, which is where the film festival takes place. And I was like, you could actually film anything there, really. And I mean anything. So I decided to film there. I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then what if I made a film in the theater, and what if it's haunted? That was the idea. What if I filmed a horror film, or what if I filmed a film in the theater and it's haunted, like there's some supernatural entity in there? That was the idea for my film, The Theater. The idea was like, I play this janitor who cleans in the theater, and he comes across supernatural entities. Well, he comes across this supernatural entity called the Man in Black Suit. Maybe because it represents he represents some old time spirit that probably tragically got killed. Or you don't know, maybe it's a cemetery under a theater, and maybe the man in a black suit haunts it. You don't know. The rules for the film was to hide the man in a black suit. And I was just checking if I was recording. I am recording. The plan for the film, the plan for the man in a black suit was to hide his face, so he's not seen. So he's this unknown entity, who was actually played by me, by the way. But it's a whole different character, so I was like, I gotta try not to show his face, because I was imagining he has this horrific face that if I show you, it's not gonna be scary. So I thought it would actually be interesting to not show the man in the black suit's face, because I think the idea of imagining something that's scary is even scarier than seeing what it looks like. So I did that. So I created the film. It took me like 4 days a week. First break, second break, 3 weeks to film it, edit it, yada yada. I tried to submit it to the 2024 Film Festival, and guess what? Oh, you're too late, Cadel. You gotta get nominated. Come back next year. I know it sounds like a pity, but I also submitted it on the day of the film festival. I didn't submit it like a week earlier. I submitted it on the exact day of the film festival. I thought, oh, I must get in now. No, it's got to get nominated. And then the teacher was like, come back next year. And I was like, okay. And that's what I did for the 2025 film festival. But for that year, I made it black and white because the 2025 film festival, which was literally like a few months ago from now, it was a black and white film festival. That was our film festival, because that's when we were in year 12, and that was our final assignment, do a film festival. Because, when we were in year 11, the year 12s of that time of media did their film festival, which was the 2024 film festival. And when we were in year 12, we did our film festival in 2025, and that was the 2025 film festival. And then I put my film, The Theatre, in that, but I made it black and white, because I thought, it's a black and white film festival, so it should be black and white. And I put it in there, even though every other film was in colour, and I was kind of disappointed, because that means I was the only one left out. I definitely believe it should have stayed in colour. I believe The Theatre should have never went to black and white. Oh, but it looks cool. Nah, it's supposed to be in colour. Actually, let's talk about colours, right? My film, The Theatre's a horror, so I have some motives for the colours. The colours in The Theatre are motives. Let's say, so my jacket, you can watch The Theatre now on the Gold Coast Pictures YouTube channel. But my character, the janitor, he wears this dark green jacket. And I always believed dark green or green could mean supernatural. But what about dark green? Well, I thought dark green... Well, I came up with the horror rule for myself as a filmmaker, that dark green, only in horror, represents dark spiritual encounter. That kind of explains, that kind of gives away the plot, the story that I'm about to have a supernatural, or like a dark supernatural encounter. It's dark supernatural encounter. That's why it's dark green, because it foreshadows that I'm going to have a dark supernatural encounter. That's why my jacket is dark green. Okay, it's also because that's the only school jacket I had. I just went with the school jacket I had. But, okay, when I made The Theatre, I didn't came up with any of this. This was all just here, This is all here. But yeah, dark green represents dark spiritual encounter. Well, it foreshadows that. But then there's another color, black. So I do martial arts. And what martial art I do is Korean. And in Korean culture, black represents death. Because when I went to karate dinners, I do karate dinners, and you're not allowed to wear a black suit because that represents death in Korean culture. So we wore instead navy blue suits. I definitely didn't rock up to one karate dinner in a black suit, and Master definitely didn't get angry at me. But yeah, I always kept the idea black represents death. And you can even see in the theatre that the whole theatre is coated in this black paint. That wasn't scripted. I had no idea. I didn't create that at that time in 2024. This is all this is all post 2025. This is all 2025. Dark green and black. Dark green, dark foreshadow of supernatural encounter. Black, death. You know. Red equals blood or danger or passion or whatever. You know what I mean? But those were the rules of that film. And those are going to be the rules of my other horror films. But I'm also going to include like dark yellow, which means like uneasiness or something. I'll do that for more like noir films or more interior of like, let's say like a police office or a gas station, I don't know. Because it's a horror or thriller, it's supposed to be uneasy. Like a David Fincher kind of like, you know. So that's my film, The Theatre. I didn't win Best Film, by the way. For the 2025 Film Festival, I didn't win Best Film. I did win an award, but that was for my hard work in media. Actually, there's another film I did. Well, actually, sorry, this isn't my film. If you know who you are, just to let you know, this is not my film. 100% not my film. Because I shot it doesn't mean it's not my wait. Because I shot it doesn't mean it's my film. This film is not my film, right? This is Dylan's film in 2025, before the 2025 Film Festival. We're now in 2025, by the way. So we did this film, like Dylan, Kaz, and I, we did a film called Mario Kart Cutscene short film. Directed by Dylan, by the way. Actually, I was the director, but this was Dylan's film because this is actually his vision, his project. But I'm a director, writer, and cinematographer. So I shot it. I actually didn't write it. Dylan had ChatGPT'd it. Everything in that script of the Mario Kart cutscene was all ChatGPT, which I was disappointed at that time because none of that was him. But hey, just as long as we make something cool, that's what matters. But yeah, I shot and directed it. Dylan also. Dylan, I'm gonna say Dylan, you were also a director too. You basically directed the Mario Kart cutscene too, because it wouldn't have been possible without your vision. Because you're like, what shots do I do next? Dylan, you're like, let's do this, let's do that. It's all your vision, Dylan. And then when we finished that film, by the way, you can see all these films on the Gold Coast Pictures YouTube channel right now. Bullying No More, Mario Kart Cutscene, The Theatre, Enter the Dragon Suite trailer. Go watch them all after this, alright? Yeah, go watch them all after this. And, yeah, so when it came to editing the Mario Kart cutscene, I didn't have the vision. So when I did a little edit of it, Dylan was like, ha ha ha, mine's better than yours. And then Dylan being cocky, I was like, what I said to him was, well, maybe because this is your film, your vision, your work, so maybe you should do the edit. I don't have the vision, you have the vision. And I said that to him and he's like, you're right. So I kind of just humbled him, but you know what I mean. We all need to be humbled sometimes. Like even I get humbled, you know. Like because I directed and shot the film doesn't mean it's my film, Dylan. It's not my film. It's yours, 100%. It's your work. We all worked in it together. But it's your piece of art with the help of all of us. There we go. Problem fixed. Another film we did in 2025. Well, actually, this had nothing to do with me, Kaiser, and Dylan. This was all Cody. I did a cameo in this film at the very end because I was one of the detectives. Detective Rockford. That was my name. Detective Rockford. I think that's my name. I forgot. I actually chucked it out, the little badge, because I broke it. The film is Cody's next film, the director of Bullying No More, the creator of Bullying... Well, we are the creators of Bullying No More, but Cody is mainly the creator and director of Bullying No More. And this is his next film. His next film is The Remnants Case. The Remnants Case, I can't say it properly. This is a detective, serial killer, crime thriller film. And it's about this serial killer that wears a white mask. This serial killer that wears a white mask kills you and chokes you to death. The whole film is about capturing this dangerous serial killer. Each person gets given... each detective gets given the file of the Remnants Case. That's why it's called that. I think. I don't know. I could be totally wrong, Cody. And our protagonist goes on this whole little odyssey, I like to say, like researching and trying to find this killer. And they go to the recent what do you call it, crime scene. Sorry, I'm burping. The crime scene is of Cody. Cody's in the film, but he's in the prologue, which is before the main title of the film, which is called The Remnants Case. Cody Ryback plays a detective who hunts a serial killer who gets killed. Spoilers. Go watch the film. YouTube, Gold Coast Pictures, now. Actually, later, after this. Cody's character gets killed. And back to that crime scene I said. They investigate him, and with this, our protagonist, he investigates the crime scene with this other character who gave him the file of the Remnants Case. He's like his little assistant kind of guy, sort of thing. He's always like, we lost a good man. Looks like you're up for the job. Here's the Remnants Case, the files, yada yada. And then later on, he said, actually wait, before the protagonist gets closer and closer to the serial killer, the antagonist, the Remnants Case, the assistant kind of foil character steps in and goes hey, maybe you should step away from this case a bit, it kind of eats people, kind of thing. And then our protagonist is I'm not here to be eaten. I think his name's Chief. Assistant is Chief. The assistant is Chief, yeah. So what happens next? He's by some lake, our protagonist, on the phone, talking to, I think, the Chief. And the killer is right behind him or to the side of him in a bush. With his iconic Remnants Case white mask. And next thing you know, he comes up behind him and he goes I told you to stay away from this case, Anthony. Takes off the mask. It's the Chief. Whoa, it's the Chief. What? It's the Chief all along. And they get into this whole climactic, sort of choreographed fight that ends up in, spoiler, that ends up with our protagonist getting shot to death, and for some reason he gets choked. I know it's a rule for our serial killer, to choke everyone that he kills. Yeah. And our protagonist gets killed. Serial killer lives on, unknown, with his sin hidden behind his mask. And next thing you know, there's like this match cut. It does like this there's this really cool effect that Cody and his other mates did. You know, like they pull out on our protagonist, like getting choked to death, and they do like this whirly pull kind of match cut to like the Remnants case file. And guess what? Post-credit scene, he gives it to me. He gives it to me, the next detective who finds the serial killer in the Remnants case. And he says, you must be up for the job. Wait, what does he say? Looks like you're the new guy. Are you up for the job, kind of thing? And he gives me the file, and I look through it, and I give him a look, like, okay. And I look through it, and I'm like, And then the film cuts there. And then the end. I think this might be my favorite part of the end credits. It like does this video game kind of end credits through like, you know, like characters and who played the characters. Cody played this character. This guy played him. He played this protagonist. He played the serial killer. Special thanks to Gold Coast Pictures, yada yada. Special thanks to Cadel Eather for playing Detective Rockford in the end credit scenes. The Remnants case never. What is it? The Remnant. What's the monologue at the end? The Remnants case never ends or something. I think that's what it is. I need to rewatch it. You guys should definitely watch it. Watch the Remnants case after this. After when I finish, or after when you listen. You know, on the Gold Coast Pictures. Yeah. Those were all the films of 2025. Almost. And then after the theater, Mario Kart cutscene short films, and the Remnants case, the film festival, the 2025 film festival took place. And you know, I got my award, Cody got his, and you know, everyone else got theirs. We all had our role in the film festival. Like, there was the Kaiser and I, we were camera operators, and you know, in the theater where I shot my film, the theater, I kind of directed myself and Kaiser on where the cameras are going to be, and we thought of having them shooting diagonally, like from each corner of the room. So Kaiser will be on the left hand side of the room, shooting diagonally towards, more of the screen, and I capture more the audience in the screen, because Kaiser's closer to the screen, and I'm closer to the audience, because I'm further back. Meanwhile, Kaiser's more like on the middle left hand side, and I was on the far back. And yeah, I captured more of the audience, and I captured the screening also, the screening of the films. By the way, they did show the films, by the way. They luckily showed not luckily, they showed the films from beginning to end, not like the 2024 Film Festival. They didn't, only showed snippets, but you know, yeah, we saw them from beginning to end. Film festival went on for an hour. It was a packed theater. Like, there was like, we didn't know how many people were coming until everyone started to roll in. Jeez, like, oh, I don't know if we have enough seats. My dad's coming. Where's he gonna sit? You know? And yeah, there was also other films that other students in media did. Like, there wasn't just us. There was other students that made their films, and yeah, they were good, man. I thought they're solid. The film that won Best Year 12. What was that? The film that won Best Year 12 film was this comedy alien film that Jarvis and other friends did. And that was funny as hell. I've always wanted to see a comedic alien absorb all the vodka in someone's house. Like, I never thought I would walk into that film festival and see an alien just drown in that alcohol, in that vodka. Like they full on went dirty. Like, well, not dirty, but they full on like went vodka all over the floor, kind of clean it up after kind of thing. But yeah, that film won Best Picture. Well, Best Film overall. Like, good characters, funny alien, a good story, good ending. That is how you make a good film. If you want to make a good film, you gotta have good characters, good plot, good ending, good story. It's just gotta be well written, basically. It was really fun. Like, 2024 was fun, 2025 was fun. It's now 2026. I can't believe 2025 is almost about to be a year ago. It feels like it just happened yesterday, sort of thing, Yeah. Anyway, I want to give a special thanks to my friend Kaiser. He also did a film. It's actually a commercial called the Yarning Circle commercial. You can also check it out on the channel right now. It's only like for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Directed by Kaiser, his vision. Edited by me. We actually did 2 versions of the film. The first version was the first version was really bad. And yeah, we filmed that, and then the first version was really bad. And then we completed that and we handed it in. And then turns out BAFTA or whatever it was, like Bonn University or something, they did like a spin and wheel thing for like short films. They want us like recreate for BAFTA. And out of all the people, they chose Kaiser's commercial, the Yarning Circle commercial. They're like, can you recreate your Yarning Circle commercial, Kaiser and Cadel, sort of thing, Like, sure. This is the second version we're talking about right now. It's way better than the original. Maybe because last time the original was out of focus, shaky camera, and it was very amateur. Meanwhile, the second time, it was very smooth and very professional and static and smooth, basically, like smooth camera operation on the tripod, better audio, sound effects, and better acting, sort of thing. Everything was better, basically. I really enjoyed filming in those years, 2024, 2025. And before I end this podcast, episode 1, my most recent short film is called Operation Go. And that was shot on the 28th of December, which is literally like almost a month ago by now. Yeah, because it was after Christmas, but before New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And we were there for like 5 or 6 hours shooting, man. It was draining. It's kind of hard filming and like filming a lot of shots in one day. I mean, it's fun, but at the end, it's just very draining. Anyway, it's about to come out very soon on the Gold Coast Pictures YouTube channel. I can't wait for you guys to see it. This is my first film on a high resolution, full on cinema camera. Because all the other films I shot was on a school camera, but this is actually on an actual like cinema camera, so it's gonna look good. And I'm actually pretty happy about the film, so I'm thinking you guys are also gonna like it. So yeah, that is everything for episode 1 of Gold Coast Pictures podcast. I'm your host, Cadel Eather, once again, the director of the theatre and the director of my upcoming second film, Operation Go. Check it out in Gold Coast Pictures channel very soon. I'll catch you guys in the next episode or in the next film or next project or next anything. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later.